You're listening to a Frequency Podcast Network production.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Welcome to Wednesday. My name is Brock.
I'm Dalby.
Stanley Cup Finals start tonight. Oilers versus Panthers, Game 1. Or as the Spanish would say, Los Petroleros versus Los Gatos.
Los Petroleros is a way cooler name than the Oilers.
Apparently, the NHL Spanish broadcast announcers, that's what they refer to the Oilers as, is the Los Petroleros. And then they refer to the Florida Panthers as Los Gatos.
Let's go Gatos. We're cheering, obviously, for Florida, the better team, the not as annoying team.
I will say Petroleros sounds way cooler than the Oilers.
Petroleros sounds like a sick lucha libre wrestler. Like Petroleros coming off the top rope.
Petroleros sounds like he plays like third base on the Minnesota Twins.
Actually, now that I think about it, Petroleros sounds like he might have played in the Red Wings dynasty era.
I'm pretty sure he was 2 for 4 last night. He's batting a .241 on the season.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Of course, it is Bon Jovi week here on the station. They'll be on the Sunday Night Vinyl series with Howard Manshine, but as we always do, that means it is now time to censor out some Bon Jovi songs.
Which I'm trying to think in my head. As soon as you said that you were going to do this today, a couple of options came to mind, but I'm mostly just curious as to what the artist, that being you, has come up with.
You know the song Have a Nice Day?
Oh, yeah.
I say, have a nice day.
I mean, it's in your face. You're just being polite at that point.
Whatever's in his face, that's up to your mind.
That's right.
Living on a Prayer, there's a lot of opportunities to censor things out, but I think right at the beginning here. It's been tough, man.
I mean, yeah, the union's on strike. Man's got to make money. How he's going to make money,
It's been real tough for the guy. Of course, there's It's My Life, classic Bon Jovi song.
It's all a lot of people want to do.
It's his life, man.
While I'm alive, I want to get in there,
And of course, one of the greatest Bon Jovi songs of all time is Wanted Dead or Alive. This is a little bit long, but listen, it's worth it.
Okay.
Sometimes it's not for days. The people I always go this way.
One Night Stands.
Yeah.
Sometimes you tell the day by the that you. Times when you're alone, all you do is think.
Keeps going.
I'm a cowboy.
All right.
On a steel ride.
Sometimes you gotta bring toys into the equation.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
If you're looking for some free entertainment, I know life is so expensive right now to go to the movies, to go to a concert or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
If you just want to be entertained, go sit in the Home Depot parking lot. Go to the pickup zone. You can watch people play Tetris with their car. I went yesterday to just go pick up something at Home Depot. I saw this guy what looked like, I think it was a Volkswagen like Golf, like the little hatchback there.
Okay, yeah. So it shouldn't be at Home Depot.
And he was trying to put a fridge in there. And I could see the guy from Home Depot that brought it out with him is like, it's not gonna work.
This is physically impossible, sir.
I sat there for 25 minutes watching this guy, and then he somehow strapped it into the back, the thing sticking out, and just drove off. And I was like, what the hell is going on, man?
It reminds me of when I went and I bought the Ryobi snowblower a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
It comes in a big-ass box, and I drive a decent-sized SUV, but I had stuff in the back seats, so I couldn't fold them down. And it was the same thing. Like, the sales associate helps me bring it out to the car, and he's like, well, good luck with that. And he just took off.
I don't know if it's a pride thing that we have, but everybody does it. Even when I had my little Ford Fiesta and I drove across the country for my first job in BC, I had that thing packed to the tits, man.
Oh my God. It's this crazy thing of you're like, well, I have to take all of my stuff when you're moving, especially when you're young and you can't afford like a U-Haul trailer or whatever.
It's crazy what you can fit in these small cars when you really want to.
Even though it's super illegal to be driving that way. Like, I can't see my mirrors, my windows. I can't see
Well,
anything.
did I ever tell you that that little bar table that we used to have in the basement? I think I told you when that guy showed up in the Camry last summer.
Oh, yeah.
And he had it like sticking out of the sunroof, and I was like, "Dude, you can make 2 trips." He's like, "Nope." I'm like, "Do you need any tie-down straps?" He's like, "I got some," and he had one tie-down strap that he just like looped through all the windows.
Yeah.
And I was like, "It's dangerous, but it's pretty damn well impressive at the same time."
The thing is, if you pull it off, like, you've really accomplished something. It's like, it's this weird setting in our brains of like you said, you looked at him and you're like, you're crazy. I respect this.
Yeah, Tony Robbins always told us that if you put your mind to something, you can achieve it.
If you believe it, you can achieve
exactly.
it. Is the perfect way to describe the guys you see driving with a mattress on top of their car on the outside, being held by their arms out the window.
That's believing, baby.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I got to share a story with you. I was parked outside the Walmart, and I was at the back, and then all of a sudden I seen a bunch of guys running out of Walmart with this huge TV, and I'm wondering what the hell's going on. And they go run to their vehicle, and it's a small little sedan. 2 guys pop out of the back, one on each side. They try to shove this TV in there, and then they try to hop in, and they couldn't do it. And so I'm thinking, man, they're stealing this TV. So I'm just watching this, and I'm like, what the heck? You know? And then they finally managed to get everybody in, and they're all cramped in, and they're just taking off out of the parking lot. It was the funniest thing I ever saw.
That's the kind of advertisements they need to do for these small little sedans, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's roomier than you think.
Yeah, that would sell a lot of cars for sure.
It honestly would. The stories that we were getting on the text line this morning are crazy. Someone texted in saying they were able to stuff a full adult set of goalie gear into a smart car once.
Dude, I drove a smart car as like a radio station vehicle when I was first breaking into the business, and I do not believe you.
Just the smell in that smart car. You're never going to get that out, brother.
Just permeated into the seats.
We got someone else on the line. You got a story about cramming stuff into cars?
Hey, so I went to IKEA as a kid. I had a rag top, and I bought an 8-foot wide wall unit. So flat boxes, of course, but 6 feet high.
Yeah.
And there were six of them. There were 6 little compartments or 6 little units
Yeah.
that made up the 8-foot long wall unit. So the roof comes off. All 6 of them go in the back seat. And I drove from Vaughan back to Sudbury.
That's crazy, dude.
That's a hell of a drive.
Did you not see any cops on the way back?
So made it back in one piece, and so did the furniture.
Hey.
That's all that matters. Your psyche will never be the
You
same.
know what's crazy? It probably took longer to put the IKEA stuff together than it did the stuff into the car.
It was a challenge on both ends.
I can imagine, sir. I can imagine.
There are too many of you saying you've stuffed live animals into your vehicles, by the way.
Well, we've got Mitch on the phone. Mitch, you had a story like that?
So many years ago, we were younger. We saw a dead deer on the side of the road. So we pulled over and thought it'd be a pretty good prank to throw it in the trunk of our car. It wasn't our car. We borrowed it from a friend for the day.
Oh, I was going to say, who's the prank on?
Well, so the goal was to take the deer back. We were going to set it up on his four-wheeler as a joke with a hat on and a cigarette in his mouth.
Jesus Christ.
So the problem was, if you know anything about deer, and when a hot day it started to gas up, we didn't know that.
Oh, God.
So we get it in the trunk, and as soon as we stuffed it in really good, all the gas is let go out of the mouth. And
You guys just got hotboxed.
yeah, it was an experience for sure.
What kind of car was this?
To be honest, I don't even know. It was just a little sedan. I forget what kind of car it was.
That's crazy.
It had a trunk, but it wasn't. It was just big enough for the deer.
I remember when I bought my SUV, they were like, you could fit 2 to 3 bags of golf clubs in here. Imagine a sedan being like, this is a 1 deer trunk.
Be a good selling feature.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I saw a survey, and this made me think of you because we've kind of had this conversation before. Apparently, in a survey with the American Ecological Association, 50% of workers age 18 to 25 feel lonely at work.
What?
Yeah, they're really claiming, like, you know, it's tough to make friends and stuff like that. They don't really feel like they are making any connections while they're at work. They're just kind of there doing their job, and then they go home and they're feeling bummed out about it.
So this is a study on Gen Z. Maybe stop being so damn weird, dude. The generation is bizarre, man.
Well, I mean, every generation says that about the younger generation. We said that about you guys. Trust in that.
Also, I'll say this. I mean, you're not at work to make friends.
See, and that's why I wanted to ask you about it, because you've said this before, that, like, this is not the place you go to hang out with people.
I mean, you can make friends at work, but at the same time, like, you're there to work, dude.
But
that's
if you
the whole point of it.
Don't have any friends at work, who are you going to sit with at the next pizza party?
I've said it. I know we've had this conversation before, because they try and force us at work, like, as a community, like, let's have lunch together, and it's like, I got enough friends.
Yeah, well, so, and that's the thing, right? It's the argument of, do you go to work to make friends, or do you get out of work to go see your friends? But I would say that the thing is it's harder now than ever before to make friends in just the open world, right? Like, people are very much into their sort of their groups and their cliques, their communities. It's harder to meet just people.
I'll give you that. Like, obviously, you know, like, when we moved here, it's tough when you move into a new city and, like, as an adult to be like, hey, could I get your number?
Can we hang out sometime?
Yeah, I'll admit that for sure.
To asking a grown-up if they want to have a play date at some point.
I really like you. Do you like me? Nothing sexual, but we should hang out sometime.
Yeah, we should just, like, we should go for a drink sometime. Like, not, like, in that way, but just in the way of, like, we'll be two people in the same place and we could talk about stuff.
It is weird to say, do you want to be my friend?
This is the Brock and Delby Podcast.
I go to work to be left right alone. Show up and do my job. I say, what the F about a million times and just leave.
You're not paid to make friends, right?
That's right.
Now, do you avoid it? Like, if people on the job site are asking you, like, oh, hey, we should go get a beer, do you tell them, like, we're good, thanks?
My famous line is, I'll let you know.
That's great. I love that.
Awesome, Anthony. Thanks for hanging with us this morning, brother.
Good boys. Have a good one.
That's a great line. I like to use. I got to talk to my girlfriend about it first.
Mine is always, if I'm trying to not commit to something, it's always like, I got to see if the kids got anything going on that day. Yeah. Having kids is the perfect way to get out of an engagement.
We've got Bobby on the phone. What do you think about making friends at work, buddy?
I like making friends at work, but I think it depends on what job you have. You have this, like, big corporate job, or maybe, you know, you're trying to become a superintendent, then it's good to be noticed if you're doing a good job.
You got to kiss a little ass, right?
Yeah, but if you have some terrible little, you know, menial minimum wage job, then if you stay anonymous, it's the best thing you can do. Just fly under the radar and do as little as possible, and you'll just thank yourself.
Just keep your head down and your nose clean and go home.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? If you stay anonymous, you could do whatever the hell you want, and you don't ever get blamed for
it. As soon as you start making friends, they're going to call you out when you do something dumb.
Well, yeah, exactly. And if you have that mentality like I do, as soon as I start making friends, they're going to know that I'm the one doing it. So if you stay anonymous, then you just save yourself.
Awesome, Bobby. Thanks for the call, brother.
Cheers, boys.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
We did get a text from someone who said, what would you say is the best job for making friends?
Best job for making friends? I feel like it might almost be like working a graveyard shift somewhere, because one, there's not a lot going on wherever you're at, and two, there's a trauma bond to, like, we're going through this together.
Either a bond or a true hatred.
Well, that's the thing, is I think it's gonna be strong in one direction or the other.
Realistically, if you want to make friends, like, the only job that's perfect for that, become a club promoter. All right?
Someone who's trying to get people to come to your nightclub?
Get some dippity-doo, slick it in your hair, become an absolute greaseball.
That's who's keeping Dippity-Doo in business these days.
You can get people free bottle service.
Yeah.
You're living the dream, baby.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
We were talking about crazy things that you put in your car, and we got this call.
I got 11 people in my car.
What kind of car are we talking?
It was a 92 Buick Regal, so it was a 6-seater. So everybody doubled up onto everybody's lap, and we went out for lunch.
That's the thing. Back in high school, it was like you had one buddy that could drive, and you would just like clown car it up as much as you possibly could.
Absolutely.
Exactly what it was. And so we all got in there. We went to lunch. We got back, and we got stuck on the speed bump coming back into the parking lot. Everybody had to clown car it out so we could get over it.
I'm trying to think if short straw would put you at the bottom or the top of the 2C. You know what I mean?
Back in those days, you never knew which side you'd get on that. So,
man, the amount of times in high school, like leaving a party or something, did you ever have a cab pull up? And he's like, too many people. And you're like, we can make it work, dude. I swear.
Oh, yeah. Or you'd call it. You'd specifically be like, hey, like, there's a few of us, so we need the van cab.
Yeah.
And then the van would pull up, and there's like 20 of you. It was like, no.
Everybody's laying across or something.
It looks like a baseball team photo.
Yeah. You've got the seatbelt jamming up your ass there.
And you're just like, just drive, man. It's going to be fine. The sooner you get there, the sooner we get out.
Or even the times like driving back into town from a party and you're laying in the bed of your buddy's truck. Like, I don't even know where we are.
Right. Oh, yeah. And everybody's like, do not put your head up. You do not need to see where we're going. They will see you and we'll be in trouble.
But as soon as somebody says that, you're like, no, I want to put my head up.
I've never wanted to put my head up more than I do in this moment. Or even like, I can remember like old trips back in the territories where we'd be like getting on an ice road to go, one town to the other or whatever. I can remember specifically being in like where you put your feet in the shotgun seat because all the other seats were already full.
A car may be labeled as a 5-seater, but it's at least a minimum an 8-seater.
It's only a 5-seater if you don't have an imagination and disregard for human safety.
It's only a 5-seater if you get pulled over.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Hey, it's Paul. I'm not going to beat 11 in a car, but I saw 6 on a motorcycle when I lived in the Middle East.
Okay, that beats it. That beats 11 in a car.
6 on a motorcycle? How did that even work?
So there was a whole family, wife, husband, 3 kids, and then there was a baby slung on the mom's back. It was crazy.
Damn, dude.
This feels like a circus act.
Yeah, it was. I mean, there was all kinds of weird stuff going on in the Middle East with people in cars, but 6 was the most I saw.
You're talking about the circus. Imagine seeing them ride around in that little ball thing. Oh, that's crazy. Thanks for sharing, man.
Yeah, my pleasure. Have a good one.
Going back to cars, though, looking at the text line here, someone claiming that they were able to fit 15 people in a 1988 Chrysler New Yorker.
Damn. I mean, the New Yorker had some space to it, but at the same time, 15 people, everybody's getting to know each other real well.
Somebody said they were able to get 16 people in a Chevette. I'm calling tomfoolery on that.
That one sounds a little
There's
bit...
no way.
I like this one here from BJ that says, I had the entire high school hockey team in the box of my truck. We got a flat tire, no kidding, and we didn't need a jack. Everyone just lifted while we changed the tire.
The boys were there. I was curious because, we were talking about how many people can you cram into a car.
Right.
There is a Guinness World Record.
Oh, of course there is.
The most people crammed into a 5-seater Mini Cooper. What would you like to take a guess? How many people do you think could you cram into a Mini Cooper?
A Mini Cooper? 3 across the back, 2 in the front. Did they have to drive at all, or was it just fitting
Just cramming in the car.
I'm going to say 25.
You're close.
Yeah? 27? Higher?
Higher.
32.
Too high.
Oh.
29.
That's crazy.
29 people in a Mini Cooper.
No one's having a good time.
Yeah.
Everyone is sad and also violated just a little bit.
You're like, whose hand is this?
Am I touching myself right now?
If anyone has a Mini Cooper, would you let us try and break a world record anytime soon?
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
So I got into this video the other day that I thought was pretty interesting, and it was talking about the etymology of the Arctic, like the entire northern sort of circle around the globe, and specifically here in Canada, and how it got the name Arctic. It actually comes from a Greek word, arctos, which essentially translated into modern English means bear.
Oh.
And the reason is because when Greek map makers way back in the day were sort of putting together what they thought the world looked like, they figured that section up at the top was best suited to see the Ursa Major and Ursa Minor constellations, the bear stars. And they were just like, oh, well, that's where bears are. Then.
That's where the bears live?
That's where we see bears. And then on the other side of things, they then named Antarctica is the opposite because it was too far away. They wouldn't be able to see the stars. So there would be no bears.
Is that what Antarctica means?
Antarctica was so if Arctic is bears, then Antarctica is anti-bears.
But don't bears live there?
I don't know what the bear population of Antarctica is. I mostly just know about the penguins that they show in all of the different ads.
True.
But yeah, the idea is that not necessarily the actual living bears, but it was named for the bear constellation. If you're up north, you can see it, therefore Arctic. And if you're down south, you're too far away, the earth is in the way, no bears.
Yeah.
I just thought, what a great way to name things. Like, why come up with some complicated, convoluted name when you can just look around at the place you're in and go, oh, we have this stuff, therefore we now live in this place.
Yeah. Like if you live in Oshawa, you're like the city of stabbings.
That's right. Knifeville.
Yeah.
There's actually other cities in Canada that have been named this way. For example, North Bay in Ontario, named for the geographical location on the shore of Lake Nipissing. It's literally named North Bay.
Because it's north of a bay?
It's a bay in the north. So
Yeah.
people got there and they went, well, this is North Bay. Grand Prairie in Alberta, named because it's a big prairie. Literally, it's a huge field. And they went, well, that's what we're going to call this place.
Fun fact, do you know why Ottawa was named Ottawa?
I don't.
It's because Ottawa.
It sounds like a yawn. I think my favorite out of all the Canadian cities that were named after something that they were in abundance of, though, is, are you familiar with Cold Lake?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was literally just named because the nearby lake was cold. So they named the lake Cold Lake. And then they had to build a city, and they were like, I don't know, call it Cold Lake, too.
Some guy got in and it touched his balls, and he's like, that's a cold lake.
That's Cold Lake right there.
The Brock and Dobby Podcast.
All right, we've got $100 in Lotto 649 tickets today for Bark at the Moon.
We got a $24 million gold ball jackpot, guaranteed $1 million prize from that, and the classic $5 million jackpot as well. By the way, if you know anybody in Quebec who plays the lotto, someone did win Lotto Max yesterday.
Sacre bleu. Shout out to Trevor who sent us this video of an Alaskan Malamute on the Brock and Dalby Instagram page.
Somebody texted in and was like, I really wanted one of those until today.
So we have 3 dogs on the line. If you are not one of our 3 dogs, that does mean you are a judge.
Yeah.
So 762-555, let us know who does the best impression here. We'll start at line 1. Hey, good morning. Who's this?
Hi, it's Leslie.
Leslie, all right, you know what we need you to do. Can you do that for us, Leslie?
Okay, all right. Here we go.
Sounds like a ghost.
It sounds like a lady at the opera going, oh, heavens.
All right, Leslie, good work. Stay on hold, okay?
Okay.
All right,
Very
we go to
nice.
line 2 now. Hey, good morning. Who's this?
Hi, it's Cliff.
Cliff, all right. Can you do this for us?
All right, Cliff. Now you're just showing off.
Good job.
Turned it around. At first, I was like, this is just Scooby-Doo.
That's what I thought for a second. All right, stay on hold.
Now he's
Cliff.
the Swedish chef. What is going on here?
All right, we go to line 3 here. Hey, good morning. Who's this?
Hi, it's Miranda.
Hi, Miranda.
All right, you're in the sweet spot here. What do you think of your fellow Alaskan Malamutes this morning?
Oh, Leslie and Cliff were amazing. So, big shoes to fill. Big
All right.
paws to fill.
You know what we need. Let's see if you can steal the show here.
powering down at the end there. That's a tired pup.
That was a pouty dog. That was a pouty pup right there. All right, Miranda, hang on for a second. All right. No disrespect to Miranda, but I do think it is between Cliff and Leslie.
Yeah. Miranda's Malamute was still a puppy, so.
Do we have a mute off, or what do you think?
I will say, I think I liked Cliff's better than Leslie's, but not by so much that I'd be offended if they did it again.
The text line is digging Leslie, so I think we do have to have a mute off.
All right, let's do it.
Leslie, are you still there?
Yes.
All right, one more time. Let's hear your Malamute.
Okay. All right.
All right. Okay.
Solid.
Cliff, my man, one more time. We need you to be the Malamute for us, all right?
Be the Malamute.
That's Cliff.
That's Cliff.
It's gotta be
That's Cliff all day. You get the ding, the round of applause, and $100 in Lotto 649 tickets, all right?
Hey, thanks, man.
If you happen to win the jackpot tonight, got some nickels and dimes, some Imes at least for the boys over here.
You bet.
And I was going to say, when you win tonight.
The Brock and Dobby Podcast.
Would you rather? Wednesday. Would you rather Wednesday?
All right, let's get weird. 762-555. First one in here says, would you rather have an entire summer of rain or a snowstorm every day during the winter?
Oh, I would much rather have an entire summer of rain. Snowstorm every winter? The only benefit would be how jacked your arms would be from shoveling.
You could make a lot of money, too, if you got a snowblower.
That's true. Whereas in the rain, you just kind of, there's always ways to enjoy your time indoors during a rain, but you're right. There is some entrepreneurial opportunities in a snowstorm.
Would you rather find out your mom or your wife used to do adult entertainment?
Oh.
That's a tough one.
I think I would rather find out that my wife had done it, because at least it would be sort of like, well, it's not doing it anymore, or maybe you're comfortable with that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I'm not here to judge.
I just feel like if you go out for dinner and then like someone's like, I know your wife, versus like, how many times is someone really going to see your mom, like, besides when you're a kid?
All I know is that I have 3 siblings. I have 2 brothers and a sister. So I know that my mom had sex at least 4 times, and even that number is upsetting to me.
True.
So finding out that there was also a professional side of the equation would devastate me.
Yeah, but it depends on like what you had as a kid. You enjoy that PlayStation? Your mom earned it for you. Someone said, would you rather have a tail or have claws?
Depends. Is it like a fluffy, unnecessary, like cat tail, dog tail, or is it a prehensile tail like a monkey? Like, can I use it for things?
Good point.
Because then, give me the tail, 100%. Claws, I could have claws. I just have to stop cutting my nails.
I just don't like the tail thing, because then if it's a dog tail, it shows kind of your emotions. Like, if you're too excited for something, like you go on a date and you have a tail, like, good luck, dude.
Exactly.
You're at work and you mess up and the boss is like, who did this? And your tail's tucked between your legs automatically. Versus the claws. Imagine the back scratching you could do with that thing.
I think that would be too much, though. I think you could really hurt somebody.
You ever get something, you even like scissors, when you get a new thing of scissors, you need scissors to open the scissors. You just got the claws.
That would be handy, but imagine you're giving Courtney a back scratch. You guys are having like a nice little romantic time on the couch. You're kind of on your phone doing your own thing. You see a meme that makes you laugh, and all of a sudden, she's got 5 puncture marks in her back. It's not a good time.
Maybe she's into that. We haven't tried it yet. Would you rather work for the Joker or work for a politician?
I would rather work for a politician because, like, I would still feel scummy at the end of the day, but at least Batman's not going to come and beat me up.
If you do think about it, all the henchmen that work for the Joker are just dudes trying to get by.
They're just trying to make a living. They've resorted to crime, and that's not okay, but they are just trying to feed their families.
I wonder
at the
what
end
the
of the
benefits package is for that, you know?
I don't imagine there are, because I feel like they're all pretty expendable.
True.
Like, I don't think, what's the health care coverage for someone who got beat up in an alley by Batman?
All right, well, We'll wrap up with this one here. Would you rather have nipples that constantly dripped Diet Coke or hands that sweat ranch dressing?
Oh, God. Give me the Coke nipples. The hands with ranch dressing.
Give me the Coke nipples.
I hate that those words
No,
came
but the
out of
ranch
my
dressing,
mouth.
you can't do it on the hands. It just looks like you're a messy eater versus like, if you got a little drippy nip, it is what it is.
Messy eater was not the first place my mind went to. If you have creamy white hands at all times, it's just like you couldn't touch anything. You couldn't drive. Everything would be messy. Whereas like, yeah, I could probably set up like a camel backpack of some sort to just collect my runoff.
Although, if you had ranch hands, imagine how much money you'd save on dipping sauces.
I don't think I would ever dip any food into my own hands. That would be disgusting.
Oh, you say.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Ed's word of the day.
See what he's got.
Good morning. Today's word is transitory. Yep, transitory. 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 And it's temporary. Well, that's just a bombastic way of saying temporary. Transitory. Anyways, transitory. That's like my marriage, too. Anyways, that just about does it. Have a great one. Cheers.
You know, Ed made the joke about his marriage, but I think there's a lot of people that don't realize that they are in like a transitory relationship.
They're the rebound. They're the bounce back for somebody else.
Or it's just supposed to be a one night, a 2 night,
Right.
maybe just a couple week thing, and they're trying to be serious. It's transitory. Is
If
what it
you
is.
meet somebody and things go really well and you end up back at your place, their place, whatever it is, and you notice that only one of you is happy that everybody's still there the next morning, this is meant to be transitory.
A one night stand is transitory, but herpes lasts forever. Remember that, guys.
There's nothing transitory about an STI.
Transitory. Use it wherever you can, all right?
Want to be a part of the podcast?
Leave a message on the Bad Line.
The Bad Line is the answering machine for the Brock and Dalby Show.
To get the number, text the word BAD to 762-555.
Thanks for listening to the Brock and Dalby podcast.